there's certainly some pros and cons on these things. On being in a syndication, illiquidity is one of them. Talk about some of the pros and cons of the syndication structure, and more importantly, you clearly have invested in a lot of them. What do you like about them?
Okay, let me just continue on the topic from before though. So let me just generalize, and give you 80% of what I see, which is basically either a 5 or 10 year term from an investor perspective, and that is basically setting an expectation. It does not mean, usually there's no legal obligation for the property to be sold in 5 or 10 years for the exact reasons that Liz mentioned. It's usually actually to help investors as well. So an operator, if they put a 10-year term on it, you have to understand they're trying to build long-term relationships with investors, so you'd like to think that they're going to want to sell within 10 years, plus they're typically refinancing a loan, which will cause them to actually force them to do something, whether it's refinance or sell. So if you're looking at a 10-year term, you could probably expect it to be somewhere 10 years or less, but it could go on for 15 or 20 years because there's no legal obligation, the market conditions may not be right, and frankly, your tiny percentage ownership doesn't give you any control, which is one of the things I'll talk about in a second. So that's the reality of how long you typically go on for. Now, the most common, and this can be done anyway, but the most common thing I see if you want to sell your shares is that first of all, it's illegal to sell your shares within the first year according to the SEC. They don't allow you to flip your shares. So you cannot sell your shares for the first year. And then after that, and correct me if I say anything wrong, please. So after that, you basically, there are rules in the operating agreement that dictate if you can sell your shares and how you have to sell them. So what I mean by that is that usually the most common thing is that the operator has the sole discretion to accept or reject you selling the shares. Most of them will typically conform because I'm guessing there's some liability associated if they block you for not a good reason, but